This is John Amorisano, and I'm talking to TJ Zizzo of Zizzo Racing, the top fuel dragster driver in the Fuel Throttle Series for the NHRA. So, how you doing tonight, TJ?
Good. It's a pleasure to be talking with you. I'll tell you, I've been very, very busy lately, that's for sure. I'm just driving home right now from a radio gig that I had on the southern suburbs of Chicago, and as we speak, it's just drizzling on my windshield, and I got a feeling by the time we get off the phone, whenever that may be, there will probably be snow on my windshield at that point. But just trucking along down I-65 and enjoying our conversation.
Wow, well, be careful while you're driving, man. Roads are pretty slick out there, and I hope you don't hit too much snow.
Well, let's see. I enjoy the challenge of driving in the snow, and I enjoy driving in general. I guess that goes with the territory, right? So
right.
I will absolutely be careful, but I will absolutely enjoy it at the same time. If you catch me hooting and hollering, it's because I'm doing donuts and having a good time.
All right, thank you. So I hear you have some great news about 2012 and 2013 season.
Yeah, you know, I am tickled to death. And you got to remember, I'm just a kid who, I'm not a kid anymore, but I was just a kid who never even dreamed of driving a top fuel dragster, never had the thought. You know, growing up with my dad and my mom, my dad campaigned the top alcohol dragster out of the Midwest. We ran a lot of NHRA events here and UDRA events here in the Midwest. Really enjoyed doing all that stuff. You know, I was one of those kids at the racetrack that just had a screwdriver in my hand and willing to work.
Right.
And by the time I was 16, I had worked on everything on that car possible. And my dad said, well, you're a pretty smart kid. You're a good kid. You don't get yourself in trouble. Do you want to have a chance to drive a top alcohol dragster at the age of 16? And, of course, NitroJohn, did I even hesitate at that? Absolutely not. And then, you know, let's fast forward 20 years, and here I am on an interview with you knowing that I drive the fastest accelerating vehicle on earth. I never dreamed that I would have an opportunity to do that. Never in a million years. Oh,
I bet. And I know you started young, I guess, when you were 5 and your dad was racing. You got interested in racing back then? Or that's when your passion began?
That's exactly correct. I mean, you know how drag racing is. It's in your blood. Once you start doing it, actually, let's go back. Any form of motorsport, you know, if your family's into it, chances are you're going to be right in the trenches with them. And once again, I just look at things, and I'm very fortunate to be driving the peak motor oil top fuel dragster, as you alluded to early in our conversation. We just signed a deal with Peak Motor Oil. I've been with Old World Industries, which owns Peak Motor Oil and Peak Antifreeze and all the Peak products. I'm sure all your listeners know of that big Peak mountain out there with big PEAK in front of it, and we've all purchased their products before. If it's windshield washer solvent or wiper blades, they're now in the motor oil business, and needless to say, I get to promote their product and drive a top fuel dragster. I'm one of the lucky people in the world that get to do this, and probably one of the lucky 40 people in the world that get a chance to do this and the opportunity to do this. So, man, I'm just driving along here, smiling ear to ear, that's for sure.
Oh, I bet. I'm sure the feeling is just overwhelming, you know, to be able to get out there and you know, live your passion.
That's exactly correct. It is a passion, and it's a dream, and it's what I love to do. You know, we always talk about the love of the sport, and that's no joke. That is something that I take right to my heart, and every team member that we have on our team, which is 12, it's even at 15 deep now, that works on this race car to prepare it, for example, to go to Gainesville. I mean, we all love this sport. We live it. We breathe it. And in my mind, it doesn't get any better than this right now. I mean, I've been able to drive a top fuel car for 9 years and continue to do it on the level in which we do it. We go out there, we run strong, we run hard. I'm elated right now. Like I said, I'm driving here in the dark with the mist of rain hitting my windshield, and I'm just elated ear to ear. Oh yeah, just wait till that snow starts coming, and you feel like you're going in warp speed. You know. That's exactly correct. I remember as a kid driving to Michigan, you know, with a friend of mine from high school, and driving up to Michigan and hitting that lake effect snow, which we get here in the Midwest, up in Lake Michigan, and And absolutely, being warp speed is correct. That's just amazing. That you know, you mentioned that, and you're from Jersey, so you understand. You get some snow out there on occasion.
Oh yes, we do. Yes, and yeah, it's just amazing how that sense of feeling when you're driving, you know, and that snow is hitting your windshield at that angle. It just really, you know, it takes you to a different dimension. You know what I'm saying?
It's almost like going 325 miles an hour down a concrete drag strip. That is for sure. It's almost like that. I mean, if you're listening, just picture what it is to drive in the snow with the blinding snow hitting your windshield. That's what we go through at 320 miles an hour plus going down the 1,000-foot racetrack. You know, because things are coming at you so quickly. It's just amazing. It's like going 80 miles an hour in a snowstorm is probably what it's like.
Well, I could just imagine. You know, I mean, you know, that 3.85 or whatever seconds you got to go on that trip, it just overwhelms me to want to feel it. You know, and can you share with the fans and all the world on how that feels going down 320 miles an hour?
All I can say is it's violent, and I have the best seat in the house. I mean, you can't describe the sensation. Put it this way. We're going to Gainesville. We're preparing for Gainesville, which is it's actually less than a week away from right now. And the last time I went down the drag strip was back in Pomona last November. And it still raises the hair on my neck to, you know, and to that point of saying, God, I can't wait to do that again. I can't describe it, let alone I could just explain it to you that the guys in the shop, the guys who don't drive the car or never had an opportunity to go 300 miles an hour, after an event, they get to hear me gloat about it for 2 or 3 weeks straight after the event, because that's the high it gives you. That's the sensation it gives you of just, I've been told it's like being shot out of a cannon, but honestly, NitroJohn, I've never been shot out of a cannon, so I don't know how that feels, but it's a sensation that I can't even describe. It takes me 5 minutes to just describe a 3.85 second pass.
Oh, wow.
That's how awesome the experience is. Well,
I know after you race and then you're doing an interview, you can feel the adrenaline and you can feel, you know, all the emotions going through after the race, and it's just so thrilling to hear that. You know,
that's what we want to give the audience, John. We want to give the audience that's watching it on television or watching it on ESPN3 or listening to it simulcasted from the racetrack, whatever it may be. We want to give the audience the sensation of just that feeling while they're sitting in the couch or they're standing at their counter or they're at a bar watching it on television. Whatever it is, we want to. It's entertainment. Drag racing is entertainment, and we want to get across how exciting it is. And I hope each and every driver out there does that same exact thing.
Oh yes. I guess you can say it was like when you're a child and you go on your first roller coaster ride, and that big drop that you have could be probably the same as going through a top fuel dragster, you know, as a kid.
It's that adrenaline rush. It's
right.
Exactly what you remember. You know, your stomach, your gut feeling of, wow, this is sensational. That's exactly what drag racing and driving a top fuel dragster is all about.
Right. So you're going to be racing 10 races this year, you say?
That's correct. That will be the most NHRA events I do in my career. And thanks to my agency for putting our name out there. I mean, their goal is to make TJ Zizzo a household name. And I've been affiliated with Peak for such a long time now, 9 years. I feel like a veteran out there, but I have the spring in my step to go to these 10 events. And, you know, to some teams, they might say, it's 10 events. But, you know, 10 events is a lot to a small team like us. And we want to go out there and we want to compete at our highest level. in which we always do. We go out there and we compete. We aim to do the best job we can on that racetrack. And people, the fans, the spectators out there, they don't realize what it takes sometimes to get all this stuff done. But our small team goes out there and kicks butt. It really, really does.
Oh yeah, and it's more so for the single team racers and teams. It just takes a lot more than, because you don't have the big team, like multi-team cars, and it's more rougher on a single car person, I believe.
Absolutely, but you know what, Zizzo Racing, we're up for the challenge. We prefer that challenge. We like that challenge. We like going to the racetrack knowing that we are going to compete at the highest level we can and come away with a win. I mean, that's so important for us as a small, independent team. And I don't mean small. I mean, we are absolutely not small, but relative to the Don Schumachers of the world out there, which have 7 teams out there competing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's my goal. My goal is to be in that predicament and compete at that level. That's what we are. That's what I am after. That's what our team is. We thrive on those situations.
Well, yeah. And I believe, with your passion and your knowledge and your strength, I think in the future might hold, a team for you coming in, like a second dragster coming in and getting more of the data from you, which would help, with your racing.
It's amazing. The president of MySix, which is our agency of record, about 4 months ago or so, he brought to the table, wouldn't you love to build a second team? And I'm thinking to myself, I'm just a guy who loves to work on cars, who works at a body shop during the day, a family-owned body shop, and gets an opportunity to drive a top fuel car. And I told him, I said, Dan, I never dreamt about driving a top fuel car, let alone owning a second team or having a second team. And he's like, TJ, the world is ahead of you. Think those ways and have those thoughts go through your mind. And that is exactly what stuck in my mind since the second he mentioned that. So that's the intention. The intention is to build our initial team, our Pete Motor Oil Top Fuel Dragster, compete at the highest level, win events, go out there and go to 23. Shortly after that, once that is successful and that platform has been laid, to go out there and build a second team and be able to do that. And who knows, someday along the way, maybe it turns out to be an 8-car team. You just never know in this day and age. No,
you just never know. Stranger things have happened, but I hope the best for you. So in 2013, will you be racing a full season then?
There's always goals out there, isn't there, sir?
Yes.
Let's look at this. In 2012, we get to go to 10 events.
Right.
In 2013, we absolutely, right now, as I'm driving this car down I-55, I know that we will be at 12 events. At that point, that will be half the season. Right. If we pick up another marketing partner to pick up the other half of the season, we will, at that point, be prepared to do it. If you would have asked me 5 years ago, TJ, you're driving a top fuel car on a limited basis, would you go to 23 events just, to compete and do it? And I would have said, absolutely, I would go there at any cost to do it, to drive myself in debt, whatever it would be to do it. Well, now I have a little different philosophy. The philosophy is to go out there on a limited basis and do a wonderful job for our marketing partners and for our team. And if I can grow that to 24 events in 2013, I will be there. But I want to make sure we have the proper funding to do it successfully. That is very important to me. It's very important to my father, and it's very important to our marketing partners. There's no doubt about it. I don't want to go out there and struggle for 23 events or 24 possibly in 2013. I want to do this, and I want to do it correctly, and that's our goal. That's
great. That's a great philosophy. I know, and with marketing partners and sponsors, they the NHRA offers a good deal with that, and And I've seen a lot of these sponsors staying with the cars over the years and building the relationships with you, and it's a lot of work.